Hey everyone, if you're watching this video, there's a good chance you or someone you love depends on Social Security benefits. And I've got some news that could directly impact your monthly payments. A senator just proposed legislation that could mean bigger checks for millions of Americans. But before you get too excited, there are some important details you need to know. I'm here because I read through the entire 47-page proposal so you don't have to, and I'm going to break down exactly what this means for you, your family, and your future benefits. Whether you're already receiving Social Security, caring for an aging parent, or just worried about your own retirement, this affects you. So grab a cup of coffee, get comfortable, and let's dive into what could be the biggest Social Security change we've seen in years. Let me start with the big picture here. Senator Bernie Sanders, along with several co-sponsors, has introduced the Social Security Expansion Act, and the name says it all. This isn't about cutting benefits or raising the retirement age. This is about expanding Social Security benefits for current and future recipients. The main goal? To address what many experts are calling a retirement crisis in America. Right now, the average Social Security benefit is about $1.800 per month. Try living on that in today's economy, with rent, groceries, medications, and basic necessities. It's nearly impossible, especially if you're dealing with health issues or supporting family members. Here's a sobering fact from the proposal. Nearly 40% of seniors rely on Social Security for 90% or more of their income. Let that sink in. These aren't luxury payments. They're survival payments. And for too many Americans, they're not enough. The Senator's office put it this way in their press release. At a time when nearly half of older Americans have no retirement savings and millions of seniors are struggling to pay for basic necessities, we must expand Social Security benefits, not cut them. This proposal aims to do three main things: increase benefits across the board, improve the annual cost of living adjustments, and extend the program's solvency. But as always with legislation, the devil is in the details. Now, let's talk about who this directly impacts, because it's probably more people than you think. First up, current retirees and Social Security recipients. If you're already receiving benefits, this proposal would boost your monthly payments immediately. We're talking about everyone from the 67 million Americans currently receiving Social Security retirement benefits to the 9 million receiving disability benefits. But here's where it gets really important. This especially helps the most vulnerable recipients. Single moms who worked lower-paying jobs their whole lives and now face poverty in retirement. Veterans who served our country and deserve dignity in their later years. People with disabilities who already face enormous challenges and can't afford to have their basic income fall short. The proposal specifically mentions that women, minorities, and lower-income workers have been disproportionately hurt by the current system. Why? Because Social Security benefits are based on your lifetime earnings. And if you worked jobs that paid less, whether because of discrimination, caregiving responsibilities, or just the nature of the work available to you, your benefits reflect that. And let's not forget about families. If you're caring for an aging parent, supporting a disabled family member, or wondering how you'll ever be able to retire yourself, this affects you too. When Social Security benefits are inadequate, guess who picks up the slack? Family members, often women, who sacrifice their own financial security to care for loved ones. All right, let's get into the specifics of what would actually change under this proposal. I'm going to break this down in plain English because some of this gets pretty technical. Benefit increases. Every current and future Social Security recipient would see their benefits increase by $200 per month. Yes, you heard that right. Minus $200 more every single month. For someone receiving the average benefit of $1.800, that's more than a 10% increase. That could mean the difference between choosing between groceries and medication, or being able to afford both. Better cost of living adjustments. Right now, Social Security uses something called the CPIW to calculate annual increases. Without getting too deep into the economics, this index doesn't really reflect what seniors actually spend their money on, particularly healthcare costs, which eat up a huge portion of seniors' budgets. The proposal would switch to the CPIE, which better reflects seniors' actual expenses. Improved benefits for long-term recipients. If you've been receiving Social Security for more than 15 years, you'd get an additional benefit boost. This recognizes that seniors' purchasing power erodes over time, and those who've been retired the longest often face the greatest financial hardship. Higher minimum benefits. The proposal would also establish a new minimum benefit tied to 125% of the federal poverty line. This means that no one who worked for at least 30 years would receive Social Security benefits that leave them in poverty. Now, I know what you're thinking. This sounds expensive. And you're right. The Congressional Budget Office estimates this would cost about $196 billion over 10 years. Which brings us to how they plan to pay for it. Here's where things get interesting, and honestly, where some people are going to have strong feelings. To pay for these expanded benefits, the proposal would lift the cap on Social Security taxes for high earners. Right now, Social Security taxes only apply to the first $160, $200 of income. If you make more than that, you stop paying Social Security taxes on the excess. Under this proposal, people earning more than $250,000 per year would start paying Social Security taxes on that higher income too. Let me put this in perspective. If you make $50,000 a year, you pay Social Security taxes on every dollar. If you make $500,000 a year, you currently only pay Social Security taxes on the first $160, $200. This proposal would change that for the highest earners. The Senator's office argues this is about fairness. It is morally unacceptable that a billionaire pays the same amount into Social Security as someone who makes $160,000 a year. Now, I want to be clear. This change would only affect about 6% of workers. If you make less than $250,000 a year, your Social Security taxes wouldn't change at all. But you'd still benefit from the increased benefits and improved cost of living adjustments. Critics argue this could impact job creation and economic growth. Supporters say it's about ensuring the wealthy pay their fair share into a system that benefits everyone. I'm not here to tell you which side is right. I'm here to give you the facts so you can make up your own mind. Here's the part I want to emphasize because I know a lot of you are feeling anxious about Social Security's future. This proposal would extend Social Security's solvency through 2096. Let me repeat that. 2096. Right now, Social Security trustees project that the trust fund will be depleted by 2034 if nothing changes. That doesn't mean Social Security would disappear, but it would mean automatic benefit cuts of about 20%. This proposal would eliminate that threat entirely for the next 70-plus years. For younger workers, this is huge news. If you're in your 30s, 40s, or 50s, you've probably wondered whether Social Security will even exist when you retire. This proposal would guarantee not just that it exists, but that it provides better benefits than the current system. For current recipients, it means security. No more worrying about future cuts, no more political battles over whether your benefits will be there next year. And for families, it means you can plan. You can make decisions about caregiving, about your own retirement, about your kids' futures, with more certainty. The proposal also includes provisions to help people who took time off work to care for family members. If you left the workforce to care for a child under 12 or a disabled family member, those years wouldn't hurt your benefit calculation the way they do now. And here's something particularly important for women. The proposal would provide Social Security credits for caregiving. This acknowledges that unpaid care work has real economic value and shouldn't result in lower Social Security benefits. Now, I need to be realistic with you about the path forward, because I believe in giving you the full picture. This is a proposal. It's not law yet, and the legislative process can be long and complicated. The bill has been introduced in the Senate, and while it has several co-sponsors, it faces significant political challenges. Republicans have generally opposed Social Security expansion proposals, particularly ones that involve tax increases on high earners. Some moderate Democrats have also expressed concerns about the cost and the tax implications. The good news is that Social Security expansion is popular with voters. Polling consistently shows that Americans across party lines support strengthening Social Security rather than cutting it. A recent AARP poll found that 85% of Americans oppose cutting Social Security benefits to address the program's long-term funding challenges. But Popularity with voters doesn't always translate to legislative success, especially on complex fiscal issues. The proposal will need to go through committee hearings, markups, floor votes, and, if it passes the Senate, the same process in the House. There's also the question of timing. With everything else on Congress's plate, from budget negotiations to other policy priorities, it's unclear when this proposal might get serious consideration. What I can tell you is that doing nothing isn't an option. The Social Security Trustees' report is clear. Without changes, automatic benefit cuts are coming in 2034. So while this particular proposal faces challenges, some kind of Social Security reform is inevitable. So what can you do right now? First, stay informed. Social Security changes affect millions of Americans, but they often don't get the attention they deserve in the media. By watching videos like this, you're already ahead of most people. Second, make your voice heard. Contact your senators and representatives. Tell them how Social Security affects you and your family. Share your story. Politicians need to hear from real people about what these benefits mean in practical, everyday terms. If you're not sure who represents you, you can find that information at congress.gov. A simple phone call or email can make a difference, especially when lawmakers are trying to gauge public opinion on complex issues. Third, help others understand what's at stake. Share this information with friends and family members who might not be following these developments closely. A lot of people don't realize how Social Security works or what changes might mean for them. And finally, plan for your own future. Regardless of what happens with this proposal, take steps to understand your own Social Security benefits. Create an account at ssa.gov to see your earnings record and estimated benefits. Consider working with a financial advisor if you can afford it, or use the free resources available through organizations like AARP. If you're younger, don't assume Social Security won't be there for you, but also don't assume it will cover all your retirement needs. Start saving what you can, even if it's small amounts. Look, I know talking about Social Security can feel overwhelming. There's a lot of uncertainty, a lot of political back and forth, and a lot of technical details that can make your head spin. But here's what I want you to remember. You're not powerless in this process. Your voice matters. Your vote matters. And your willingness to stay informed and engaged makes a difference. Whether or not this particular proposal becomes law, the conversation about Social Security's future is happening now. And that conversation needs to include the voices of real people who depend on these benefits, not just politicians and policy experts in Washington. This proposal represents hope that we can do better for seniors, for people with disabilities, for working families, and for future generations. It shows that expansion is possible, that we don't have to accept a future of benefit cuts and increased poverty among older Americans. I'll be following this story closely and keeping you updated as it develops. Make sure you're subscribed and hit that notification bell so you don't miss any updates. In the description below, you'll find links to the full text of the proposal, resources for contacting your representatives, and information about checking your own Social Security benefits. If this video helped you understand what's happening with Social Security, please give it a thumbs up and share it with someone who might benefit from this information. And don't forget to check out my other recent videos. I just posted an update on SNAP benefits changes that could affect millions of families, and I have a comprehensive guide to navigating disability benefits that's been really helpful for a lot of viewers. Your support means everything to me and helps me continue providing this kind of in-depth analysis on the issues that matter most to working families and people on fixed incomes. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.